Hey guys, it's Edwin here, and today I'm going to talk about why do people stay married to a narcissist, or why people stay in toxic relationships. And I'm going to be listing you some genuine reasons, and if you're in that relationship, just understand that you're not a fool for staying in that relationship. There are some legit reasons why you're there, and by the end of this video you'll have understood that some of these reasons actually are more in your mind, and I'll also offer you a few tips on what you can do to try to find the courage to really get out of that situation. Because something about an abusive relationship is it never gets better, you just keep getting worse. And if you have someone, let's say a friend or a family member who's in that kind of relationship, it's not also for you to judge and tell them, or to look down upon them and question them on why they are staying. This video is for you to understand that they are staying because some of these reasons are beyond your understanding. Some of the reasons they are staying are beyond your understanding, and they are so legit to the point that if you were in their shoes, you would also stay in the same relationship. So, and that's what compassion is all about. It's all about putting yourself in someone's shoes and then looking at it from their perspective. So by the end of this video you will understand why people stay, and hope you'll find that informative. So the first reason actually why people stay married to an abuser is emotional attachment. So when you are in a relationship with someone, you have these intimate moments, you have this connection, this attachment. So when you stay with someone for a very long time, you feel attached to the person. But now, because of your unhealed wounds, there's something called trauma bonding. Trauma bonding is where your unhealed traumas are finding safety in a familiar kind of environment, and that familiar kind of environment is that abusive relationship. So it's this feeling where I want you to think of that relationship as a drug. So because you are addicted to that drug, you'll still keep going for it even if you know that it's ruining your life. So logically you know it's ruining your life, but you still keep going for it because it's giving you these highs and lows, or because it's a familiar kind of environment for your unhealed wounds. Like you are used to that kind of environment, and when you are used to something, you get to the point of feeling comfortable, in quotes, comfortable in this familiar environment. That's why people stay. The second reason is fear and intimidation. This is where the narcissist or that abuser may threaten to ruin your life, may threaten to take away your kids from you, may threaten to take you to jail, may threaten to just do something which will affect your livelihood or which will affect the quality of your life. In fact, I worked with a client in the past who told me that the ex-partner was so influential to the point that she could not do anything, especially coming from a country like Africa, where there is corruption and all those things. So you can't do anything, you can't really live because your partner or your husband is so influential. So he can manipulate the system. So they threaten you. The other thing is they may also threaten to take your job. Let's say your partner is your employer, they may threaten to take your job, and if someone threatens to take your job, of course you'll stay. The other thing also is they may threaten you with consequences. They may tell you that if you leave, you'll end up alone, or if you leave, you'll never find someone else. Just these manufactured fears. And when you are driven to this point, you'll actually realize that maybe it's better to stay than to leave, because if you stay, they will not threaten you as much, but if you leave, they will threaten you and they will make your life hard. So that's why people stay. The third reason is financial dependence. Actually, we need money to survive. We need money to pay rent, to cater for our basic needs. So in most relationships, there is mostly that one main breadwinner, that one person who provides for the family. So if you are in that kind of relationship or that kind of marriage, it can be hard to live because you don't have you don't have money to fend for yourself or to fend for your kids. You don't have money to take care of your basic needs. You don't have money to even just survive. So you just see that the best place to survive is staying in that relationship or staying in that marriage. Yeah. The other reason is low self-esteem. Self-esteem is this deep belief in your sense of worth. like being worthy to survive, being worthy to adapt to life challenges. So because of in that relationship you've been gaslighted, you've been called names, you've been traumatized, you've been verbally abused, you've gotten to the point where you don't even believe in yourself anymore. You've lost that belief in yourself. And the moment you lose that belief in yourself, it becomes really hard for you to see that you can handle or you can tackle the challenges presented to you by this world on your own. You just feel that you need someone else to navigate this life. And you even get to the point where you can't even think on your own because you have low self-esteem. Like you don't really feel that you're even worthy of a healthy kind of relationship or you are worthy of living. Like you feel that you have no value at all. And when you get to the point where you feel that you have no value, of course you'll just stay in the relationship because you feel that you deserve the relationship, you deserve the abuse, you deserve to stay with the narcissist. So yeah, so the relation and actually the more you stay in the relationship, the more your self-esteem goes downwards, and the more it goes downwards, the more it keeps you stuck in the marriage. So that's why people stay. The other reason is co-parenting concerns. So in instances where like you have kids together and you understand that once you divorce there'll be this a long process of divorce, this back and forth of divorce, this destabilizing the kids, like how will you negotiate on the parenting plan, parenting arrangement. All those things are actually so complicated when you're dealing with someone who does not understand, someone who's manipulative. So because of all those concerns, you just resign to this option of just staying in the relationship because it offers this path of least resistance. It's an easy path. Like if you stay, you won't have to work on that parenting plan. You won't have to go to court. You won't have to tell your kids that you left your partner because of this and this. Another thing is also your kids may want to be in that kind of relationship where there is a mother and a father. So because your kids want that, you wouldn't want to separate them from their father or from their mother. So you might choose to stay just for the sake of your kids. Another common reason actually, also like as for me coming from Africa, is cultural and religious concerns. So we've been mostly brought up and conditioned with this feeling of marriage is a permanent, I think it's called holy matrimony, something, is a permanent institution and you have to make it work. You have to make it work. It's a lifetime thing. Or you cannot leave your husband, you cannot leave your wife. You just have to make it work. So when you're conditioned with all these things of culture, of course you will not leave that easily because there's no one to support you outside the relationship. You are so conditioned to the point that you cannot see life beyond the marriage. Like everyone has been through that part. Like all your parents, all your friends have persevered in these marriages, have persevered in these abusive marriages. So when other people have persevered, you will feel that maybe you are the problem and you just have to persevere. After all, maybe God will punish you if you leave the marriage. It goes to that extent. Like if you leave that marriage, you'll be punished by God, or it's a sin to even leave it. So with all these cultural and religious concerns, it will be hard for you to live unless you rise up and challenge these things. And no one really wants to challenge those things which have been there. In fact, we normally call it like our culture. It's in my culture to take care of my husband, to take care of my wife, and I can't really live. It's in my culture to maintain this traditional family unit. So when you live life in that sense, where like you cannot think on your own, you are thinking through the lens of the culture, of course you will stay in that marriage. That's why you have to understand your friend's culture so that you can at least be compassionate to them and understand that genuinely they want to stay in that relationship because they are so deeply entrenched in their culture. The last reason is feeling of investment in a relationship. Actually, a relationship is just like any other kind of investment because you invest your resources, you invest your emotions, you invest your assets. Like you may build that home together, you may have that business together, you may have shared memories, like shared interests. You've really invested in the relationship. You've been calling each other every time. Let's say you've been in that relationship for 10 years. So when you view a relationship as an investment, you would not want to lose that investment. It's more like, it's called a sunk cost fallacy, where you've really invested so much in something. Yes, Yes, the ship is sinking. Yes, the relationship is not working. But because you've invested so much in it, you feel that even if it's toxic, I will stay because I will not find someone else, or because I've spent so much time in this relationship. In fact, that's a common one. Like, I've spent 20 years with this guy, with this lady. I cannot leave. Let me just stay. Because you've invested yourself physically, emotionally, mentally in the relationship, or even spiritually. You have common friends. So when you are at this point of feeling very invested, you would just even rationalize the abuse and ignore the abuse because you don't want to lose that investment. Yeah. So, as I've said, you're not a fool for staying in the relationship. You're not a fool. Your reasons may be different, but just know that your reasons from your own perspective are legit. But the thing is, you don't have to stay in an environment which is hurtful for you. Like, you can still work every day in, day out, to break free from that environment. Other people have left and they are thriving, but there is nothing good which will actually come from staying in an abusive environment, especially if you've gotten to the point where your partner doesn't even care about you, your partner doesn't even feel the need to change their behaviors. Your partner is just abusing you emotionally, physically, mentally. Always work day in, day out to build that courage, to build those resources, like to build that inner strength so that you can leave the relationship. And I actually made a video in the past on how to find the strength to leave an abusive relationship, and I link it in the description. But always know that you deserve better, and all those fears, all those intimidations, you can overcome them. But you just have to put in the work and always remind yourself that you deserve better, you deserve better, you deserve better. And now take action toward that better life. That better life of having meaningful connections, of having connections with people who respect you, with people who treat you well, and not people who mistreat you. Hope you found that informative, guys. So just be compassionate with that friend or that sibling who is in that relationship. Don't add more burden to them by calling them names like they're stupid or something. No, they're not stupid. It's really hard to get out of those situations because of the reasons I've listed. Just be compassionate with them, listen to them, and when they ask for help, provide them with that help. Hope you found that informative, guys. Until next time, have a lovely day.